There's a reason why this Charizard sells for $40,000 and the exact same cards here sells for not even $2,000. And that's because they're not the exact same cards. There's actually three very different versions of Pokemon's base set. So whether you're selling a childhood collection, whether you're getting back into the hobby to collect, or whether you're investing in Pokemon to make money, you need to know the differences between the different versions of the base set, because as a newbie, it's very easy to either sell cards for a lot cheaper than what they're actually worth, or to be ripped off on the promise that you're buying a first edition base set Charizard, when in fact it's an unlimited Charizard. So in this video, Shreddy is going to show you exactly how to spot the differences between first edition base set cards, shadowless cards, and unlimited base set cards. And the fourth, not as well known version of the base set, which is mega punching that like button. Seriously, it takes like 2 seconds to press the thumbs up button. It helps the video out a lot. And if you stick around until the end of the video, I'm going to go over a fourth version of the base set that isn't as well known, and the difference in this fourth print is a lot trickier to spot.
Are you ready for Shreddy?
What's up, Shreddy? It's Guys here, and welcome to another episode of the Pokemon Card Classic with the jacked, stacked serial thriller of Pokemon card collecting. So there's a huge difference between the different versions of the base set. Whenever you hear somebody about digging out old Pokemon cards or Pokemon card collections from when they were a kid, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be base set. It is the very first set that was printed by Wizards of the Coast, and it's what all us 90s kids grew up with. If you're new to collecting or you're getting into Pokemon cards to invest and make money, and you don't know the differences and don't know what you're looking for, it's very easy bend.
Toasty!
Shreddy's going to take you under his wing, and I mean figuratively, not literally. I'm not going to have you sitting under me lats right here or anything. So, to demonstrate the differences today, we're going to be using some cards I've got from the base set. The Charizard, the Blastoise, and the Venusaur. So, we're going to just start off with looking at the Blastoise. So, right here, we have a first edition Blastoise card. Now, the reason we know this is a first edition, and this might seem like I'm teaching, you guys out there, you collectors out there, sucking eggs, but the reason we know this is a first edition is because we have this symbol here. First edition stamp on the card right there. So what does first edition mean? Well, that means that this was the first print run of Pokemon's base set, and to commemorate that, or to symbolize that, they put this stamp on right here. Now, this is the most valuable version of the base set out there. So next up, we have what is known as the Shadowless base set. Now, these cards are absolutely identical with one difference. I could put this photo here, give you a 10-minute time limit, and ask you to spot the difference. There's only going to be one, and that is the lack of a stamp right here. So there's not really a great deal else to say about that, other than this is the first edition, most valuable, has the stamp. The Shadowless was printed after the first edition set was printed, and it was printed just missing that stamp. And that was originally planned to be the unlimited release of these cards. However, Wizards of the Coast, the printing company who produced Pokemon cards back in the late 90s and early 2000s, also printed this card. And chances are, if you're watching this video, you found an old collection, this is going to be the kind of card that's in your collection. However, you might surprise me, you might have some cards in your collection that are shadowless or are first edition, and that's why I'm stressing it so much, guys. It is really important to know the differences between these. So this right here is hands down the most common version that you're going to see of any kind of basic cards, and this is the unlimited version of the cards. So you're looking at that and thinking, well, what's the difference between this card right here and the shadowless card that I've just showed you? Well, let's put them side by side to have more of a closer look. So the difference between these cards, and the reason this is called shadowless, is because if you have a look at this card right here, and again, we're going to try and get a little bit of close-up on this. Right here, where the box of the card is finishes, where the artwork finishes, you have this shadow effect on the box of the cards. However, looking at this Blastoise, the Shadowless Blastoise, there is no print, there's no shadow effect, there's no shadow print down this side of the cards. Now, I don't know how well this is going to come across on camera, but the colouring of these cards is actually pretty different as well when you see them in person. And I'll try and get some, better footage and overlay it on this, but you can see there is a difference between the two cards. The holographic effect is, like the same, pretty much, like of the actual holo, but the difference on these cards comes, you're looking for this section here, you can see side by side there is a difference right there. What some of the other differences? Well, if you look at the HP, the print on the HP is slightly more bold, I would probably call it. It's very, very ever so slightly thicker. The colour is slightly darker than what you see on this version. Whereas when you're looking at these two cards, these are literally identical, minus the first edition stamp. So what's the backstory behind these? Well, Wizards of the Coast originally printed this card right here, the first edition version of the card. They then printed this to be what was going to be the unlimited version. So the unlimited version is they'll print off, they pretty much print to demand. Pokemon was super popular, so they planned on just printing this into oblivion to meet demand of all of the kids back in 1999 who were wanting to buy Pokemon cards. However, what Wizards of the Coast thought when they printed this, that with the first edition stamp missing, they kind of thought these cards looked a little bit too plain. So what they did was change it ever so slightly. I'm going to see if we can get them all side by side in shot here. So what they did is changed it ever so slightly to create this version of the cards. And what they did was kind of lightened the colours of everything. The colours on first edition and on Shadowless cards are a lot darker and a lot deeper. On Unlimited cards, the colour is a little bit lighter. They added more of a texture to the entirety of the cards. There was a little bit of a difference with the way that the HP is displayed. And they just thought that adding this effect would make the cards look a little bit better and kind of look, I suppose, less bare without that first edition stamp being there. But we can put the first edition and the Unlimited side by side, and in person there's more of a difference than what you can see through the camera. But that is the differences in the Blastoise. So next up, we're going to have a quick comparison between the Charizard cards. Now, this to me is a lot more of a clear difference. And along with that, I just want to give a quick disclaimer. I am still waiting for my first edition Charizard to come back from PSA. I sent it off in August. If I had it back by now, we would have had the first edition also shown. Unfortunately, that's not grading, so we're going to have to just show the Charizards, Unlimited and first edition. So the colour difference here, I think, is a lot more visible. So you can see this here, the actual holo, the print of the Charizard compared to this print of the Charizard. This is a lot of a deeper colour. The orange is more orangey, it's darker, as are the wings, as is the holo background, and there's not as much of a sparkle effect on the holo compared to if I was to move the base set card around. It's a little bit more of a subtle holo, and the colours just look way deeper, way darker, way more red. Again, down the side, Shadowless, Shadow. Hopefully you guys can see the difference a lot more clearly and a lot more vividly right here. The colours of everything from the energy cards to the back of the card to the Charizard itself are just a lot deeper on the Shadowless cards compared to the Unlimited cards. So at the time of recording this video, the Unlimited Charizard, which is right here, not even going for $2,000. You can get it for just under $2,000. This is going by PokemonPrice.com, looking at the latest eBay solds. This card here, you're probably looking anywhere around $7,500 would probably be a rough average for this card. Whereas the first edition Charizard in PSA 9, you're looking at just over $40,000. Now, it's not just because I've got an unlimited or a shadowless or a first edition that adds the price of these cards. For those that don't know, these cards are graded, which is why they are in these plastic cases, otherwise known as slabs, with this little insert here at the top. So this is PSA, the company that grades cards. This has got a 9. It goes from 1 being the worst condition all the way up to 10 being the best condition. This is also a 9. The reason a card is worth more money is because the condition is better, which means the grade is higher. So just because you've got one of these maybe sitting in a folder or a binder or a sleeve somewhere at home, in the loft, in a spare room, in your parents' house, doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be, that your card will be worth the same as what this is here in PSA 9. However, if it was kept in really good condition and you sent it for grading, there's a chance you could get it as a 10, which would be worth even more than this. And then lastly, we're looking at everybody's favourite fat green frog, Venusaur. Now, for me, Venusaur is one of those cards where the difference between unlimited and shadowless or unlimited and first edition really shines through the most. I mean, you probably don't need me to do any talking, and you can see the massive difference in these cards right here. The Venusaur on the left-hand side, the unlimited, which I've actually got in PSA 10. Everything about this is a lot lighter. The Venusaur character itself is more of a turquoise blue than it is green. The shading is a lot lighter. If you look at the flower and the bulb on its back, all of those colours are a lot more washed out and a lot brighter. And you compare that to either the shadowless or the first edition cards, and the colours are much deeper and much darker. Venusaur is green in both of these cards, more of a turquoise blue in this one right here. That lack of a shadow, just like the Charizard, so obvious to see on these cards. No shadow, no shadow, shadow. The difference in the HP, the font, slight difference. It almost looks thinner, whereas it looks more like a bold font on the Unlimited. In the hollow effect on the Unlimited, again, it's a lot more of a greeny colour than it is on the Unlimited, which is more of like a turquoisey bluey green. And again, just for reference here, we've got the first edition and the shadowless side by side here, and both of these cards look pretty much identical in the first edition compared to the Unlimited. Again, big difference in the way that the cards look. Which of these cards is your favourite though? Do you prefer the Unlimited look? Do you prefer the shadowless look? Or do you prefer the first edition look? Wizards of the Coast obviously thought that this was the best version. However, the colours and the detail, I personally feel, are a lot better on shadowless and on base sets. I'm interested to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below. But remember, back at the start of the video, I said if you stuck around, I would also show you what the 4 base prints variation is. It's a little bit trickier to spot, but quite often this 4th print is worth even more money than the Unlimited print. So what we're looking at now, on the right hand side, is the regular Unlimited version of a Pikachu basic card. On the left hand side is what is the 4th print run of base set, and this goes by a number of different names, whether it's base set 2000, the 1999-2000 print run, or the UK print run, and we'll get into those names in just a little bit. But there is a significant difference in these cards, which you can tell instantly just by the colouring. So on the left hand side we have the 4th print run, and you can see here that the colours are a lot, and I mean a lot lighter, and a little bit more washed out compared to the regular version of Unlimited. You can see there the difference in yellow on the Pikachu itself, but also the yellow around the cards. It's almost like night and day when you're looking at these cards side by side. It still has the shadow on the side, because remember, this is an Unlimited set. The only differences really is the lighter colour, and another key aspect, which is at the very bottom of the cards, and we'll try and zoom in to see it, is the print years. So if you look on this left hand side right here, you'll see after the Game Freak copyright, we have 1999 to 2000 Wizards on there. Whereas on the Unlimited version, we just have 1999. And we're going to change the focus on this so we can see. So right there, the bit I'm talking about is 1999 2000 Wizards, whereas on the regular unlimited version we just have 1999 2000 on the left, 1999 on the right. So what's the crack with the difference between these two sets? Well, like I say, the left hand side is just another version of base set unlimited. The colours are a little bit brighter, you have that 1999 2000 print on there, but the significant difference of this, for me at least, is that these cards were printed in the UK literally just to try and meet up with demand of Pokemon. Back in 1999, these things were hot. If you think that Pokemon is popular now, back in 1999, we didn't have Scout bots set up and Scout groups set up and people flipping these things on eBay or on Facebook groups. Pokemon was popular through its core demographic, which was kids. So to meet up with this demand, especially across Europe and the UK, Wizards of the Coast started printing these over in the UK, and the cards did look slightly different, as you can see. Now, funny story, I remember when I was a kid, going to the Metro Centre, I still had cards to complete from the base set, but base set had kind of been and gone in terms of popularity, but I still didn't have a complete base set. One day in the Metro Centre, a toy store called Games Master or something like that, it was like a yellow logo with red writing, and they had base set packs in there, base set booster packs for £1. I shit you not, they had base set booster packs for £1. A young Shreddy should have bought out the entire box, sat on them, and then 20 years later made some fat stacks. But what did young Shreddy do? He spent all of his allowance that day, which was £10, on 10 packs of Pokemon cards and opened them all. Now, I remember the highlight of this for me was pulling a Chansey on that day. It was a card that I still needed for my binder. I hadn't pulled it myself, mint condition, so it was a class day. Something to mention about holos is that in these booster boxes, the 1999 2000 booster boxes and booster packs, you weren't guaranteed to pull a 1999 2000 holo print. There was still a chance to pull a regular 1999 holo card in those packs. This set is far more rarer than this set because it was a lot less printed, so it tends to go for more money. However, the difference between, you know, seeing these come up and people distinguishing these sets, the 1999 2000 to unlimited, is nowhere near the level separating the differences between these cards, the unlimited, the shadowless, and the first edition set. So guys, there we have it, the differences between all of the base sets. Now that you know this, you're going to be in a much better position when you're looking through your old cards, or when you're looking through eBay, Facebook, to buy cards. Know exactly what you're looking for and not get ripped off, whether you're buying or whether you're selling. Before you go rummaging through the loft or through the basement or to your parents' house, chances are the cards that you had when you were a kid are probably going to be unlimited, but it's very important that you do know the differences. You might be sitting on some first edition or some shadowless cards that are worth a ton of money. Just because unlimited is the most common doesn't mean that there's a chance that you won't have it stashed away somewhere. So if this video has helped you guys, then please do mega punch that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, more videos on how to make money with Pokemon, retrospective videos on older collections and my collection, and just the general ramblings of the jacked, stacked serial thriller of Pokemon card collecting. On screen now is a video about how you can collect Pokemon cards for cheap and on a budget, so be sure to check that out and let me know if it helps you. Drop a comment down below if you're going to check through your old collection, and until next time, remember that collecting ain't no gimmick, it's a lifestyle.